Welcome to the deep dive. We're here to sift through the noise and really focus on insights that can make a difference. Today, we're getting into a topic that sounds simple, almost obvious maybe, but its effects are, well, they run deep. We're talking about the people you choose to spend your time with, the influence they have. It's not just about, having a nice chat. It shapes how you see everything, your whole perspective. And for this deep dive, we're looking at a really potent, quite direct excerpt. It's from The Wisdom of Choosing Your Company. It's not some long, dense text. No, sharp, punchy statements. Our mission to unpack these ideas. They kind of challenge how we usually think about our social lives, our friends, and how that connects to our emotional well-being and where we're headed long term.
Exactly. And that's why this is such a critical conversation to have right now. Like you said, it's not superficial. This isn't about just, pleasantries or etiquette.
Yeah.
We're really digging into something fundamental about being human. How the people around us impact our daily energy, how resilient we feel, our potential even. It's recognizing that your social world isn't just there. It's actively shaping you all the time, often without you even noticing.
Okay, so let's jump right into the core of it. The source hits hard right from the start. It gives this piece of advice that honestly might make you flinch a little at first. It says, avoid the unhappy and unlucky. Wow. That's blunt, isn't it? It kind of goes against everything we're taught about compassion, about helping others.
It does feel jarring.
Yeah, but the wisdom behind it, when you look closer, it's powerful. It's worth exploring. So what's the thinking there? Why such a stark instruction?
Well, the source doesn't really leave you hanging. It tells you why right away.
Yeah.
It states very clearly, negativity is contagious.
Mm-hmm.
And what's fascinating is this isn't just some saying. It's not a metaphor. Modern science, psychology, neuroscience, they actually back this up. There's this thing called emotional contagion.
Emotional contagion. Right.
Yeah. Our brains are basically wired to mirror the feelings, the attitudes of people we're near unconsciously. Think of it like a social virus.
Yeah.
Not malicious, but it spreads quickly, subtly. So what does that contagion actually look like day to day? It's way more than just catching a bad mood from someone, If you're constantly around somebody who sees every little problem as this huge, impossible barrier, or someone who always focuses on what's wrong, what's missing, or maybe someone who feels like they're always the victim, bad luck follows them, things always go wrong for them, well, you might find yourself starting to think that way too, without even realizing it. We see it in teams, right? One really skeptical person can just suck the air out of the room.
Oh, definitely.
Turns a brainstorming session into a complaint fest. Your own way of tackling problems might get less proactive. Your outlook dims a bit. It's really about protecting your own inner state because the outside world is always pushing in.
That idea, emotional contagion, and how it shapes our view, that's really the heart of this, isn't it? It's not just avoiding bad vibes. It's a biological thing, a psychological reality. I mean, there are studies showing emotions, happiness, sadness, even feeling lonely, they can ripple through social networks.
That's right.
Like 3 degrees of separation, your friends' their mood can actually affect yours. It's wild.
It is.
And those mirror neurons in our brain, they fire when we do something, and when we see someone else do it, they play a part too in picking up others' feelings.
Absolutely. It's happening below the level of conscious thought.
Which makes being intentional about our choices even more crucial.
Exactly. And that brings us back to the phrasing in that first statement. Avoid the unhappy and unlucky. That word, unlucky, it really makes you pause, doesn't it?
It does. What does it mean?
Is the source telling us to ditch people who are genuinely having a tough time? Probably not. Or is it more about those who see themselves as unlucky, who maybe unconsciously kind of project that, live in that victim narrative?
Ah, okay. That distinction feels important.
It's critical. It's not about judging their situation. It's about recognizing the potential energy drain and the cognitive biases that can rub off on you if you're constantly exposed to a worldview centered on misfortune, whether it's objectively true or more perception.
Right.
It's about how their outlook might subtly shrink your sense of what's possible for yourself, your agency.
Okay, so if negativity is the problem, the contagion, what's the solution? The source moves right into that. It says, choose your company wisely. This is the active part, the strategy.
Yes.
At wisely here, it doesn't sound like it means being snobby or cutting people off left and right.
No, it's more strategic than judgmental.
Right, strategic for your own mental health, your growth. It's less about avoiding and more about actively cultivating, building a supportive environment, like curating your social diet, maybe. the same way you might curate your news feed or what you eat.
That's a great analogy. A social diet. You're consciously choosing the ingredients.
And this is where some really interesting, almost surprising facts come out about how these social ecosystems work. It's often not about huge, dramatic breakups with friends. Sometimes it's just recognizing the power of small, steady exposures to different ways of thinking.
Consistency, yeah.
Like being around optimism, resilience, curiosity, people with an abundance mindset, that can slowly, steadily shift your own baseline.
It really can.
Imagine spending regular time with people who see setbacks as, okay, temporary problems to solve, not the end of the world, people who cheer for small wins, who tackle issues with a kind of hopeful grit. Over time, that rubs off. That becomes your new normal. Psychologists call it social proof or normative influence, right?
Exactly. We tend to align with the people we respect or spend a lot of time with.
We absorb their approaches. Their successes feel more possible for us too. It creates this upward spiral.
And that's such a vital distinction. This isn't about becoming isolated or cold.
Yeah.
We all face tough times. Supporting friends through genuine hardship, that's essential. That's human.
Of course.
The wisdom here, I think, isn't about lacking compassion. It's about understanding where to place your primary energy investment for your own long-term well-being. It's about building a strong, positive core network. Your anchor.
An anchor, I like that.
Yeah, so that when you do need to support someone or face challenges yourself, you're doing it from a place of strength. You're not easily pulled under by the negativity. And if we zoom out, connect this to the bigger picture.
Yeah.
This advice, it's not just about feeling good today. This choice, who you surround yourself with, it directly impacts your long-term goals, your ambitions. Well, think about resilience, how you bounce back from failure or setbacks. Being around people who model resilience, who don't give up easily, that helps you build your own resilience muscle.
Right. You see, it's possible.
Exactly. And opportunities. When you're surrounded by people who see possibilities, who are connected, who encourage growth, you literally start to perceive more opportunities yourself.
Doors open that you might not have even noticed before.
Precisely. You're building this human ecosystem that genuinely fuels your growth. Consider aspirations. Often, what we aim for is heavily influenced by what seems normal or achievable in our immediate circle. If everyone around you is kind of coasting, staying comfortable, it takes a lot more personal effort to aim higher.
Yeah, you feel like the odd one out.
But if your circle's full of people pushing boundaries, learning, striving, that energy is infectious. It pulls you along.
So this leads to a really important question for you listening right now. How often do you actually consciously pause and think about this? Think about let's call it the emotional return on investment from the time you spend with different people.
That's a good way to put it. ROI.
We plan our finances, right? Our
Okay.
careers, even our workouts or meals sometimes. But how much deliberate thought goes into curating the people who shape our thoughts, our feelings, our energy levels day in and day out?
Probably not enough for most of us.
What would change if you approached your social life with that same kind of intentionality?
And this is where it gets practical and sometimes tricky. It's easy to say choose wisely, but applying it, that requires effort. We can't always choose our family or all of our colleagues. Those environments can be somewhat fixed.
Sure.
But even then, we can choose how we engage, how much energy we give certain interactions. Maybe it means consciously limiting time with persistently negative individuals, finding pockets of positivity elsewhere.
Like seeking out more uplifting colleagues during a coffee break.
Exactly. Or setting boundaries in conversations.
Yeah.
Gently steering away from constant complaint loops.
Redirecting towards solutions, maybe? Or just changing the subject?
Yes. It's not always about dramatic cuts. Sometimes it's about managing the dose, managing the type of interaction,
Yeah.
protecting your own mental and emotional resources, your capital, as you put it.
Precisely. So let's kind of pull this all together. The core message from our deep dive today is, well, it's powerful. The people around you have this constant, often subtle impact on your well-being, your success, your entire outlook. And the wisdom of choosing your company is actually incredibly empowering when you unpack it. Understanding that negativity is contagious isn't about judging people. It's a key insight into how we work as humans.
It's just acknowledging reality.
Yeah, and it gives you the permission, the framework to see choosing your company wisely as a fundamental act of self-care. Maybe even more than that, an act of self-determination.
She's taking control.
Exactly, taking active control over those subtle forces that are constantly shaping your perspective, your energy, and ultimately where your life is headed, your journey. So, wrapping up our deep dive into the wisdom of choosing your company. It really highlights this crucial truth. Your social circle isn't just background noise, it's a dynamic force field. It's either lifting you, expanding your view of what's possible, or it's subtly, maybe steadily pulling you down, narrowing that view.
It has momentum.
It does. Recognizing that negativity is contagious. That's the heads up, the warning sign. And embracing the call to choose your company wisely. That's the path forward, the blueprint for a more resilient and fulfilling experience.
So as you go about your day, your week,
Yeah.
after listening to this,
Yeah.
we invite you to reflect. Take a look at your immediate social landscape, work, home, friends, and consider not just who is in it, but how you genuinely feel after interacting with them. What's your energy like? Your optimism, your sense of agency, of possibility.
Really tune into that feeling.
Yeah. And then ask, what conscious choices, maybe small ones to start, maybe bigger ones later, might you make starting today? Choices to really embody this wisdom of choosing your company. And how might that shift things for you? Your perspective, your energy, the whole trajectory of your journey. Something to think about.